And here we are at the final part of the Aile Strike Gundam, all painted up and decaled up, and also top coated it. Because when you're done painting a model kit or anything else, you always need something to protect the paint, which is of course top coat it, like either flat coat or gloss coat. And also my dad is here with me.
Hey! Hello y'all, and howdy, and this right here is the last installment of the Aile Strike Gundam.
Yes.
Right? And we are going to be going over some of his, my son's artist abilities. Let's put it that way. So anyway, I'm going to give him the floor and he's going to talk to y'all about what he did as far as, because some of this could have been stickered, but he didn't do it. He did it all by hand. And that is awesome. So here's Colton.
And let's take a look at what the painting I did. So let's start off with the head here. But before we get into the head, I will have to remove the jetpack so y'all can see his full head of what I've done.
It takes a little bit to get the backpack off, but it does come off. So it just takes a little wiggly waggly and a little bit more wiggly waggly, and there we are.
So for the head here, what I've done is I've painted in the eyes yellow, and behind the eyes I've painted the back of it black, and on the bottom I did do some red here, and the eyes of course does come with a little sticker to put over it, but of course I didn't do it, I just painted it. And I also did some black on the sides of his head here, and I also did some panel lining on the mouthpiece here and on the sides here. And I did paint it in the white for the V fin here. And I also did, and I don't know if y'all can see it. Oh, there it is. You could see it a little bit, but I did painted a little bit of blue on this piece here. Now, is this like the head cameras? Because
it might be. It may be. It may be.
Do you remember that these were the head cameras?
I don't. I would have to look back, and it's been a while back. I'm not sure. It could be.
But here's the back of the head here, and what I've done is I painted the black here on the sides, and a little bit of blue here.
A little bit blue.
And I also did some gunmetal gray paint on the sides here of his chest, and also these things here that goes all the way down to his back here. And I also painted in the
back thrusters, I think.
back thrusters. They are.
Okay.
And what I did was I painted them red, and I also painted in the black piece in the center here on both of these here. And I also did a little bit of black on these, like, circle things inside here. And for the shoulder pads here, I did some gunmetal gray paint on both sides here. And put on some decal stickers here on both shoulders here. And for the elbows, I did a little bit of panel lining on his elbows here.
Now, do you have that marker that you do panel lining with? Just tell me where it's at. I'll get it. Is it right here close?
It's a black Sharpie, a fine tip one.
Yeah. Okay. Alright. Well, anyway, a black fine tip Sharpie to do the panel lines.
Or you can also use some, like, Gundam markers, because they also put out some Gundam markers with a fine tip on it to help you panel line it.
So, when you do panel lines and stuff like that, you have to have a steady hand.
Right.
It can't be shaky. And you have to just literally fill it in. And he does with what he has.
And I also did panel lining on his hands. And I also painted in these things a gunmetal gray. And inside these two things, I did painted these black, which I don't know if y'all can see it, but they are there. Well, you can barely see it right there. And I also did panel lining here. And I also painted in the white things here on the sides of his chest here. And did some more black here and black here on the front skirts here and the side skirts. And the back skirts here. His legs. Now, his legs, there was not a lot to paint on it. it's pretty much all done for you. The only thing you had to do was just panel line it for the legs. That's all you had to do. And his feet here, I painted in the little black things here. And on the bottom of the feet, I did paint it in the black thrusters and did some panel lining here on both of his feet. And that's pretty much it for the Aile Strike Gundam itself. And for his jetpack here, what I did was I painted in these red things here, red, and I also painted in the wings here, red. And for these bottom thrusters here, I painted the yellow here on.
A little technical difficulty. We will be right back, and we're back.
I accidentally dropped it.
You dropped it. You had to pick it up. Sorry.
But I did do some yellow paint here on both sides, which you can see. And I also painted in this piece here a gunmetal gray here. And did a little bit more panel lining here on this white piece. And I also painted in the insides of these thrusters black on these two here and also these two here. And I did a little bit more black on these things here. And that's about it. And we will get to his weapons in a minute. But first, we're going to show off the articulation on this kit here. But before we get into the articulation, something I will have to say, if you have the jetpack off of him, you can let him be in his like normal Strike Gundam form, because
So what you're saying is Strike Gundam doesn't look too much different than that one?
like when he doesn't have his jetpack on
Yeah.
him, he's just the Strike Gundam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But the Strike Gundam, I think, has a couple other guns. Or maybe... Okay. Anyway, there's a couple of modes that he can go into. This is, I think, the last one. I think. According to the game. I could be wrong.
This is him in the normal strike form. But when he has this on, he's Aile Strike. And there's also 2 more of for the Strike Gundam. There's one where he has...
there's one where he has a daggers, right?
No, that's for the Strike Gundam itself.
Okay. Okay.
But there's also one where he has a big sword and he's called Sword Strike. And another one where he has
A gun. A big chain gun.
a launcher. And he's called Launcher Strike Gundam.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But for the articulation, his head is on a ball joint, but these 2 things here do get in the way of his head articulation. And if you have this on him, it does, like, really limit his head articulation. Well,
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And his arms do rotate all the way around, but of course, if you have the jetpack on him, it does. Yeah, it does hinder his arm articulation if you have the jetpack on him. But they can move in and out. And he does have a bicep swivel, elbow, ball joint at the hands, waist swivel, and these side skirts can move out to about here, but the front skirts can move all the way up. And yes, I did split the skirts so they move independently and not just one piece. Ball joint at the legs, knee joint, he just has a single jointed knee, not a double jointed knee. And these ankle guards can move up, and his feet can move up and down on the ankle joint here, swivel at the ankle joint here just a little bit, and a ball joint at the foot itself. And for his jetpack here, his jetpack has, well, it can rotate on these things and move in and out. And that's about it. And I will, well, I can go ahead and put this back on him. So he does have a lot of articulation, but if you have the jetpack on him when he's in Aile Strike form, his articulation kinda does limit it, especially the head here. And his arms don't quite like hinder it, but they still do move if you have the jetpack on him.
That looks really good. You did a good job. Did a good job.
So for accessories, he does come with his beam rifle here, and the only painting I did is I painted in the little targeting sight here blue, which you can see there. And he can hold it. The way you hold it is you, of course, have to remove this white piece, feed the handle of the beam rifle into his hand, and then reattach the white piece back on him.
So you have to pull his hand off, detach the white piece, line up the handle with the hand, then reattach the white piece.
Oh, and this handle here can move left and right, so you can have him hold it with both hands. And he does come with a shield here, which I have painted the yellow here on these two things, and also this thing here, and I painted in the white here. And I also added in some decal stickers on the shield, which is that one on the top and this one on the bottom here. And I did some black on these two things here, and also these lines here. And on the other side, I painted this entire thing here on the other side of the shield a gunmetal gray, because all of this was just all white, so I painted it all a gunmetal gray, except for that piece right there. And as you can see, this piece here is where you would attach it to these things here, into this little clip here. So you can have it like this, and this will allow you to attach the shield either here or on the bottom here. So you can either attach it to the side of his elbow or on the bottom of his elbow here.
Looks really good.
Now, these two white things, these two white things right here do remove. Well, I will have to get him out of the way so y'all can see. These two white things here are his beam saber handles. Now, when he comes with these, you may be thinking, oh, does that mean he comes with like two beam effect parts to attach to these holes here? Yes, but unfortunately, no. He doesn't come with any beam effect parts to attach to these handles. But if you remembered what I said in part 1, do you remember in part 1 where I said he comes with a special hand?
Yes, a special hand.
And it's this. And this is the special hand that comes with a beam saber handle with the beam saber blade. And I did do a couple of paintings because when you first get this is entirely white and there was no paint on it. And what I did is I painted in the fingers and the thumb here a gunmetal gray to match the other hands. And I also painted in the beam saber effect part pink. And yes, the hand here is sculpted into the beam saber part here with the blade attached to it. And this Aile Strike Gundam that I have is like, oh, I also did some panel lining on this white piece like I did on the other hands. But what I was about to say is this Aile Strike Gundam I got is like an older figure or an older model kit, which it is, because this Aile Strike Gundam that I got came out in 2011. And if I remembered, there is like a re-release one which came out in 2014, and I think that one comes with two beam saber handles and two beam effect blades that you attach to these handles. But you can attach the hand with the sculpted in beam saber like he's holding it, and attach it to this arm here. You just pop off this hand and reattach it with this hand here. And that's really like the only downside of this kit, because my only problem with it is I wish he came with two beam blades to attach to these handles here, instead of having one that's sculpted into the handle, or one with the hand sculpted into the beam saber like he's holding it.
Looks really good.
And that is pretty much it. So that has been the 4-part video of the Aile Strike Gundam from Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. The build, and also all painted up. So if you've enjoyed this 4-part build review of the Aile Strike Gundam, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there is a playlist set up on my YouTube channel. So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.
Thank y'all.